Welcome, and we're back. Fast Instant Karma. Today we're looking at some geniuses who love testing the cops' patience, and of course none of this ends well. From god-tier arguments to hopeless escape attempts, you definitely won't want to miss a single second. With just one wrong twist of the throttle, these two guys upgraded a minor traffic violation into a felony evasion charge. Padding your rap sheet with a failed stunt is the quickest way to guarantee a bed in the county jail. Calderon thought flashing a weapon in public would help her control the situation, until the Long Island patrol cars rolled up and shut it all down. She's lucky to be safe, but her luck ran out the moment those handcuffs clicked, opening up a long legal battle ahead. This professional thief tried to show off his sprinting skills to escape, but unfortunately, his run ended with a perfectly executed faceplant. Facing a dangerous intruder right in the lobby, Bristol police handled the situation flawlessly and ended the suspect's reckless behavior with a taser shot.
Brian! Hey, go, 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 go! Brian! Hey, go, 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 go!
The glass door might have protected the homeowner from a terrible ending, but nothing could protect her from the harsh reality, a pair of cold handcuffs and a long-term stay in a jail cell.
Everyone good? Yep. Good.
Blaming it on God after attacking an officer is a move no one saw coming from Jose Garcia, a well-known thug with a long criminal record. Thinking he had God on his side, Garcia is quickly taken down, restrained and hauled straight to the station within seconds.
I don't have to answer the Homeland Security.
David blocked traffic and claimed to be a Homeland Security agent to intimidate the officers on scene. During a fierce struggle, he even fought back against the canine officer the moment it bit him to gain control.
Stop fighting! I'm in fucking handcuffs!
Fighting a police dog is a costly mistake, because the payoff is usually a year in prison and a lesson you won't forget about following police orders. Police in Warren, Ohio just released body cam footage of a suspect being arrested after fleeing into a daycare. After causing a crash on the street, he rushed into a classroom, fell into a children's playpen, and showed dangerous behavior. Authorities confirmed all the kids were safe, and the suspect is now facing multiple serious charges. Longview police have released footage of the arrest of Xavier Felder Thomas, a wanted criminal with multiple violent charges. During the pursuit, he made reckless moves to escape, but was quickly stopped and subdued with a taser. Searching the car, officers recovered key evidence linked to a massive fraud ring.
Turn it off. He's taking off towards the back on the scooter.
Wanted for kidnapping and weapon charges, this man chose to race a motorcycle against Valdosta police in a desperate attempt to escape.
Southbound of Alton.
Did he really think a helmet could be a life-saving shield, or was this just a desperation?
Reckless through Orly West. Just got back out onto, I believe this is AM.
Get ready. He's gonna jump out. When he jumps, he's gonna 1050 Valdosta. He's 1050 right here.
No surprises here because running from the police simply doesn't work.
You're going to jail. For who? For you. I don't want to hear it. You can't lie to somebody else. Get in the car. No, there ain't no please. You go.
Please step out of the car.
Hell no, man.
From a simple vehicle registration issue, Medina turned himself into a criminal when he sped off in a heavily damaged car at 60 miles per hour. By the time he realized that the car was completely dead, he decided to go for the ultimate self-sabotage, diving straight out the window in a desperate attempt to lose the cops. He probably thought that leap would lead to freedom, but instead, it only earned him a priority seat in a patrol car and a no-bail status.
One in custody.
Move your f***ing hand.
From the emergency lane to a jail cell, Casey Register turned the highway into a racetrack while fleeing police at 120 miles per hour. The wild escape ended in a fiery crash with a guardrail and a patrol car. Drugs found inside the vehicle revealed what was behind this loss of control. Let's see just how long his sentence ends up being. After seriously injuring an officer, the suspect recklessly fled in a vehicle towing a boat loaded with weapons. On the highway, he fought back aggressively, turning into an extremely tense chase. The chaos only ended when he was boxed in at Tinker Air Force Base and forced to surrender. Given the severity of the case, he will definitely face the maximum sentence. Responding to an emergency call, Officer Harris arrived quickly and approached the man in an agitated state. All attempts to de-escalate failed when the suspect suddenly charged at the officers. Left with no other choice, authorities had to take action to ensure the safety of the neighborhood and themselves. From a minor traffic stop, this female driver, Tobayan, made things worse by repeatedly resisting officers.
Listen, hi.
How you doing, ma'am?
Hi, it's my hand.
I see you. Don't touch me.
I would never. I just want to go home. I don't have nothing. No.
Don't do the exercises. What it does is it puts me in a position.
She didn't just provoke them by twerking, but also screamed and disrupted the entire process. With this kind of behavior, she will definitely face heavier penalties for disorderly conduct and resisting the law. A terrifying chase broke out in Arkansas when a crazed driver started blowing through red lights and weaving all over Highway 71. To prevent disaster, police were forced to execute a pit maneuver at high speed. The violent high-speed impact left the driver, Battenfield, with some truly tragic consequences. A costly lesson in what happens when you choose to fight the law on the road. What started as reckless driving quickly turned into bigger trouble when this delivery driver tried to run while officers were doing their job. It goes to show cooperating with officers is always the smarter choice.
All right, it's a great kind of a brown. No, partner, stay, bro. Stand by, get in, bro. Get in.
Between staying calm so you can get home safe and letting your impulses take over, which would you pick? Unfortunately, Gurpreet Singh chose the second, and the inevitable end arrived. Firm action from the police shut down his arrogance with a very expensive lesson. A very promising burst of speed from Donald Shaw on a plateless motorcycle. Oh, he really tried to use his feet like Fred Flintstone. That must have been one of the quickest pursuits in history. A female passenger was restrained right at Orlando Airport after spitting and threatening staff at the departure gate. Even after being refunded and told to leave, she continued to act aggressively towards security, leading to multiple assault-related charges. For these offenses, she was sentenced to 12 months of probation, 50 hours of community service, and also required to attend anger management classes. Write an apology letter to the victim and is banned from the airport.
Walking her straight out, let's go. So you should behave yourself, all right? All right. Grab her bag from the officer.
We'll have the windows rolled down for you.
Can I make a phone
Roll
call?
my bag, okay?
Okay. Well,
Go away. You can send me a letter.
well, there's damage on his car and there's damage
A
on
minor
your car.
parking lot incident quickly escalates into a massive scene, all because of one woman's uncooperative attitude.
Do not touch me right now. You're Mom!
Stop, ma'am.
You don't touch me again.
Enough.
You grab me by the throat. I'm
Enough.
gonna kill you.
Instead of handling it peacefully, she keeps on yelling, accusing the officers of overreacting, and even drags her mom into it just to dodge responsibility.
Away from my mom.
Ma'am,
You're like, kill you.
Ma'am, you need to stop.
Get the out of my mom. Get away from her.
Ma'am, stop.
Get away.
Don't kiss
You're hurting her.
You're hurting her.
Turning a minor insurance claim into a "don't touch me" drama is the fastest way to trade a car repair bill for a resisting arrest charge and a pair of gold handcuffs.
Yeah, she door dinged this guy and then.
Yeah, it's not the police this time. These are
I
paramedics.
don't care about police. My Savannah is gone. She's hurting me. Help me.
Okay, can you go over there?
Okay.
While San Diego police are busy dealing with a chaotic crash scene, one woman decides to blow off steam by attacking a photojournalist.
Hey! You have to record! No!
What are you recording, homie?
No. Why? Because they fucking
A perfect self-sabotage moment. We still don't know who caused the crash, but police definitely know who's going to jail for assault.
Task force done pulled up. You're all good to record, that's all. What I'm gonna have to do is just step out for me, okay? What?
Trying to play a field reporter during his own arrest, this guy got a pretty shocking wake-up call from the officers. Wanting a million-view video is easy, but wiping a criminal charge for obstructing justice off your record is a whole different story.
I don't care. Ah! Look! Look! Like a fucking way! You did that!
The officers showed a lot of constraint in the face of non-stop insults. Until that cake took flight, and that's exactly when the professional takedown began. Driving without license plates was already a bad start, but Regina decided to upgrade the trouble by ignoring police and ducking into a clothing store. Non-compliance is the fastest way to earn a tour of the local jail, and a solid spot on the city's criminal record. Throwing physical attacks at on-duty officers is a bold tactic that usually ends with a mugshot and a loss of freedom. This suspect seemed to think she could just ignore the cops even after being caught red-handed with about $1,300 worth of merchandise in her bag.
Do not fight me.
The quiet vibe in the security room was quickly shattered when she chose to fight back, only to end up tasting 50,000 volts from the officer's taser.
get tight together. Put your hand behind your back.
Put your hand behind your back!
Cooperating might not get you off the hook, but it's definitely better than adding an obstructing justice charge to a shoplifting rap that already carries a $1,000 fine. Officers confront a woman accused of child endangerment after receiving multiple reports of physical abuse. Her initial look of parental concern quickly vanished, replaced by a storm of screaming and insults as she fought the officers tooth and nail. Adding resisting arrest and insulting an officer to a child abuse file is a bold move, and it actually just locks in a maximum sentence of 180 days behind bars.
You're not doing good? Well, the medical professional said that you are. Okay. And you were asked to leave several times. Okay.
Officers patiently spent nearly 5 minutes trying to convince a woman to leave the emergency room on her own after doctors confirmed she was completely fine.
You can call him from outside the building, so you have 1 minute.
I asked her if she could come bail me out.
Bail you from jail.
Yeah.
Okay.
But once the patients ran out, the long conversation quickly turned into an on-the-spot forced arrest.
You're under arrest, Alicia.
No, I'm waiting for
Please stand
the
up.
answer.
Stand up.
Stop.
Stand up, Alicia. You don't have to go that route.
Stop.
Stand up.
I need my phone.
Here's the deal. When police give you 10 chances to walk out on your own, choosing option 11 usually comes with handcuffs.
Locked.
What's that? Well, I gotta stand here because this is for my safety. So.
Leave everything in the file, okay? No. You're my possession. I'm gonna take it with
What should have been just a warning for blowing a stop sign ended with a passenger facing a laundry list of charges and getting hit with a taser.
Just taser. Taser.
on your back!
Marlon Strang's decision to physically attack the police turned a minor hassle into a 93-day jail sentence. It's wild how some people are willing to trade their freedom over a traffic sign, only to end up with a combo of drug and concealed contraband charges on their record.
Mark, just stop. Stop. Turn around. Turn around.
A domestic violence call turned into a chaotic chase when the suspect frantically drove his car into a cornfield and started throwing non-stop insults at the officers. Faced with Mark Topnis's uncooperative attitude and severe verbal abuse, the police had to deploy a canine and a taser to end the drama.
No more! No! Dude, move! No more! Turn it off now! On the ground. Don't move! Don't move! Alright, somebody come. I got legs. I got head. You got him. You got him. You got him. We got head. Stop resisting! Stop resisting, dude. Yeah, I know I'm good.
Using insults to get out of trouble has a 0% success rate, especially when you end up with a 9-month prison sentence and a bunch of brand new charges in your record.
This is not the time or the place, okay? No, it is. We'll talk about it later. But you're under arrest right now. Please don't prolong this any longer. Kick your feet in.
I will.
Kick your feet in.
That is not justice.
Hey, Angela, you guys were meeting yesterday? I would love to take your report if you want to talk.
A woman named Angela approached the police to report an extortion plot, but her erratic behavior quickly turned her from victim to suspect.
You go to jail, okay, because of those acts that you committed yesterday.
I did not commit those acts.
So you are under arrest for reckless driving, okay?
She was arrested on an active warrant for reckless driving, triggering a violent outburst right there in the hallway.
I want you to know what criminals is.
It's quite a feat when even the jail turns you away. She successfully traded the jail cell for a long-term mandatory stay at a mental health facility.
Before you're gonna find out a bad way, get in my house.
That's not how that works, Justin.
Let me tell you what. Walk to the street.
A Mount Pleasant man's online claims of being God ended with an erratic standoff with police and a brutal reality check from a taser.
Turn around now. Turn around and face away from me now. Turn around yourself. Turn around.
Taser. Stop.
Throughout the entire arrest, Kochik stayed trapped in his delusion, ordering the officers to kill themselves and claiming he held their lives in his hands.
You don't own me anymore. I own you.
Lay down on your belly.
You don't tell me what I'm doing.
Lay down on your belly.
In the end, his fake powers couldn't save him from the harsh reality, being pinned down on the spot and shipped off for a mandatory psychiatric evaluation.
Somebody just got a torn ACL.
Running around naked and stealing an ambulance is already a bold move, but doing it with a patient still in the back is the fastest road straight to jail. Benjamin Phelps slammed the gas, ignoring sirens and spike strips until all 4 tires were gone, just bare rims left.
Driver the vehicle! Shut it off now! Come on with your hands up! Hands up! Clear out! Put your hands away from me!
Delusions of a spiritual mission might have blinded Phelps, but it didn't save him from a $100,000 bail for vandalism, public endangerment, and lewd conduct.
What do you got in your hand, John? John, what do you got in your hand? Oh, put the knife down. We just need to talk. John, we just need to talk, John. Christian, why don't you go?
Smashing a door with a hammer to break into a home, then using a knife to take a hostage, Jonathan Blazer set off a tense standoff with Plateville police. He barricaded himself inside and refused every call to cooperate, forcing officers to use tear gas to bring him out.
Get down! Get down! Stop! Don't move!
In the end, that locked door couldn't stop justice, and his blind resistance earned him a long stay in a high-security cell.
Taser's on the ground.
John, you're okay. John.
Calling the police to have her father removed, but ending up in handcuffs herself. Gwendolyn's situation flipped fast once officers noticed clear signs of intoxication. Things escalated quickly when she ordered her pit bull to attack the police. Officers had to struggle to deal with the aggressive dog while restraining a suspect weighing over 130 kilos. That decision to unleash the dog and possess illegal substances ended with an 18-month suspended sentence and a spot on the local news. This nurse was stopped by police right at the store exit for allegedly stealing over $300 worth of merchandise.
I'll pay for it, I promise. Right now it's too late, right? To pay for it? You already tried stealing it?
Even after being caught red-handed with the goods in her bag, she still tried to negotiate, offering to pay the bill just to be let go. But the officers refused because the law isn't something you can haggle over after the crime is already done.
You're a nurse? A registered nurse? Or
Huh? What'd you say?
Siren in here?
Just one reckless second exposing a gun in his shorts. Diaz Titus had no idea he was already on police radar. Things escalated when he resisted and ran into a residential area. Police couldn't go all in because it was a crowded neighborhood. He was eventually tracked down in a garage by a canine unit, ending the short-lived freedom of a guy who already had a record for weapon charges.
Doing okay? Everything all right?
The AutoZone manager just wanted him gone after dozens of disruptive visits, but he took things way too far.
You're with your family? Well, what are you doing? What are you doing, sir? No, I'm just talking to you. I'm just trying to make sure you're okay.
Instead of taking the privilege of leaving peacefully, he chose to turn around and attack the police, only to get hit with a brutal taser shock. What a stupid move.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Hey, jewelry on you, man?
Just sentenced for driving while banned, this man went right back to his old habits, fleeing the courthouse on a motorcycle with mirrors made of tape paper. While running from police, he even caused 2 more crashes. With 17 prior offenses on record, I bet this stubbornness will cost him a sentence stacked on top of another.
Hold it. Up here. Watch out. Hey, put some spike strips. Fraser, get behind cover.
Reset your mood and head home before the cops show up with a free tour to the station. Watching his friend get handcuffed, this guy chose to insult and attack the officers, even bringing up his family background to challenge the law. Is that brotherly bond built to last? You bet, because now they've both been reunited right at the police station.
Does that make you
Drunk, threatening her own mother, and trashing the house with paint. That's how this woman's bad night began.
Like I said, I don't got shit.
Instead of showing any remorse, she put on a disturbing dance, forcing officers to quickly step in with force. She was later arrested on charges of 4th-degree assault, resisting arrest, and intentional property damage. After identifying the stolen Subaru, police coordinated with the air units to track the suspect from above. The moment the vehicle slowed down, patrol units moved in, forming a tight perimeter that sealed off every escape route. Despite repeated attempts to ram him way out, the car thief was taken down with a taser and now faces 7 criminal charges.
Show us your hands! Hey, he's going
Nacron Mikhail Gamble, 31, drove a stolen SUV straight into his ex-girlfriend's mother's apartment, causing a serious gas leak.
He's gonna hit us. Watch out! He just hit him.
He didn't stop there. Gamble kept going, slamming the vehicle into patrol cars to get away.
Hey, I'm gonna... We're gonna shoot. He stopped over here. He's hit us.
After an intense chase, Akron police captured him, bringing the chaos to an end with multiple criminal charges.
Yeah, my right shoulder's kind of injured. Get the
One moment of losing control with a weapon turned this young man in Sydney into the center of a dramatic arrest. Never treat public safety like a joke, unless you want your journey to end behind bars.
Everyone clean?
Yeah.
He's got a seatbelt on.
Get in!
Watch out, dude. I believe you. TBI.
Even after trying to ditch the evidence while on the run, this suspect was still caught with a firearm in hand. With a record stacked from assault to weapon possession, a nearly decade-long prison sentence was the final chapter for this lawbreaker.
Give me my $12 back because I don't want the piece. It's already paid for, it's already made. I don't want it. What you gotta pay? You gotta pay $1. Is y'all gonna give me my $12?
I'm not giving you anything.
Could they give me my $12?
So do you want your pizza?
I don't want the piece.
You can file a civil suit against them for $12.
$12?
I'm saying.
I'm not from down here. I don't know what's going on. You need to give me my $12.
I'm not giving you anything. You need to leave or you'll be under arrest for trespass.
You're now being trespassed. Get out.
I swear to God, let this thing, I tell you, y'all that you're
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Under arrest. Under arrest. Fuck. Do you want to go to the ground?
Go to jail, bro.
Get my stuff. Get my stuff. Get my stuff.
Then y'all just want to slam me on the ground? Like, bro, this
Yes, you hit me in the face.
because you got my sister, bro.
Now you're going to jail. To your side.
I'm getting them. I ain't resisting anything. You might think you're supposed to touch me.
Maybe things wouldn't have gone this far if Brandon Lewis hadn't lost control with the officer on duty. What followed forced police to step in decisively, leaving behind serious consequences.
All right, just get him sitting on her.
And that's what happens when a massive ego runs into the very real limits of police patience. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, drop a comment with your favorite moment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next round of instant karma coming your way.